Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are talking about a literal game changer for commercial interiors. We're establishing a completely new paradigm, moving wall graphics away from being just simple temporary decoration and elevating them into highly resilient, integrated architectural systems. If you've ever dealt with managing commercial spaces, you know firsthand that keeping them looking pristine is a constant, ongoing battle. Well, stick around because we're going to show you exactly how the experts are solving this problem for good. So let me ask you, why are commercial walls failing? And I don't just mean aesthetically, I mean functionally. Facilities teams across the board are facing these recurring nightmares with traditional wall coverings like vinyl wraps and wallpaper. You know how it is. Brand standards evolve, departments shuffle around, and yet the default solution has always been to just slap another layer of vinyl on the wall. But as we're about to see, sticking with that outdated status quo is actually introducing massive operational risks right into your buildings. To solve this, organizations absolutely must shift their mindset. You have to stop viewing wall branding as just some decorative overlay. Instead, start treating it as a reliable, integrated building system. True expertise in commercial space management, the kind of expertise East Coast Mural Pros brings to the table, means recognizing that a graphic on a wall needs to perform under the exact same real-world pressures as the drywall or the concrete that it sits on.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. First, the flaws of vinyl wraps. Then, direct-to-wall technology explained. Third, superior life cycle cost efficiency. Fourth, cross-industry commercial applications. And finally, the expert implementation guide.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, the flaws of vinyl wraps.
Have you ever walked down a bright, high-end hallway and noticed those glaring, ugly, overlapping lines on a wall graphic? Yeah, those are telegraphing seams. It's a routine failure that completely ruins the aesthetic of a premium commercial space. If you have bright lighting in a lobby or a patient corridor, overlapping edges and glare mismatches from rolled materials become glaringly obvious. Plus, human nature being what it is, those edges become pick points. People naturally pick at them, causing peeling and creating an environment that just looks neglected. It's a fundamental limitation of the vinyl material itself.
Look, this happens because traditional vinyl relies on adhesives, and adhesives bubble when humidity changes. They off-gas odors that trigger complaints in occupied buildings, and honestly, they just collect dust. Direct-to-wall printing, however, is a totally different ballgame. It offers integrated, cleanable, and totally seamless architecture. It removes the adhesives and the panels entirely. It basically replaces all those vulnerabilities with serious engineered durability.
Moving right along to Section 2, direct-to-wall technology explained.
For me, the absolute most disruptive aspect of this engineering is the speed. 5 hours. Seriously, a typical feature wall can be completely finished in under 5 hours. Because this technology prints directly onto the surface, it allows for single-shift outcomes. You can do an overnight or a weekend install and hand the space right back over by morning. That is an absolute game-changer for active hospitals, schools, and busy retail environments.
So how does it actually work? Well, it builds a highly predictable, low-odor, clean workflow directly on your site. It kicks off with site prep and color-managed proofs. Then a specialized mobile printer literally traverses your wall, laying down high-resolution imagery. It uses instant UV LED curing, which immediately locks those inks in place. Think about it, no staging pallets of heavy vinyl, no managing massive piles of liner waste, and no waiting on delayed shipments, because the print itself is the product.
And get this, it doesn't just stick to perfectly smooth drywall. It integrates beautifully into diverse, rugged commercial substrates. We're talking unpainted cinder block, sealed concrete, and even brick. It easily accommodates common commercial surfaces with crisp, perfect alignment to architectural control points like your millwork and baseboards.
Let's talk numbers in Section 3, superior life cycle cost efficiency.
When you stretch the timeline out, the hidden costs of vinyl are frankly wild. By year 2, vinyl often requires partial replacement just because of edge failures and bubbling. Fast forward to years 6 or 9, tearing that vinyl down often damages the drywall, which means you're paying for patching, priming, and heavy repair labor. Direct-to-wall printing, on the other hand, requires just light maintenance in the short term. And for the long term, it's a simple paint-over-ready refresh. You literally just paint over it when you want to change. The long-term operational savings here are undeniable.
So, financially, this flips the script entirely. Instead of facing unpredictable capital expenses filled with all those hidden repair costs we just talked about, this system allows organizations to treat wall updates as a predictable, almost subscription-based financial model. You can budget a regular refresh cadence right into your operational expenses. And as any expert procurement team will tell you, that is exactly how you manage risk and achieve cost certainty.
Let's pivot to Section 4, Cross-Industry Commercial Applications.
The versatility of this system translates into huge advantages across different sectors. In healthcare, it's totally hygiene-ready. You can wipe it down with aggressive disinfectants without the edges wicking or discoloring. In education, you get resilient finishes with far fewer tamper points for students to pick at. For retail, it's all about that overnight speed for unified seasonal campaigns. And in hospitality, it delivers a seamless, high-end ambiance with virtually zero room downtime.
Now, if you're managing a multi-location brand, you know that absolute color consistency is non-negotiable. With traditional printing, color matching across different batches of vinyl can be a total nightmare. But here, ICC-managed software workflows keep your brand's core hues perfectly accurate. Whether you're rolling this out on a corporate campus in New York or a retail store in California, your visual identity is fully protected. The output looks exactly as your designer intended.
And we can't ignore the massive sustainability win here. Direct-to-wall means zero PVC films, zero liners heading straight to the landfill, and no shipping packaging emissions. Plus, because you aren't destructively tearing old adhesive off the drywall later, you drastically reduce demolition waste and skim coating dust. You are literally extending the service life of your building's actual walls.
Finally, let's wrap things up with Section 5, the Expert Implementation Guide.
So how do you actually make this shift away from failing vinyl without taking on a ton of risk? Well, this is where East Coast Mural Pros really shines as the absolute expert in the space. They use a proprietary, actionable framework. You don't just guess. First, you define objectives. Then you audit your existing conditions and substrates, establish clear performance criteria, and validate the design intent. Next, you pilot a specific zone, like a targeted corridor or lobby, and only then do you plan the full portfolio program. This systematic approach is exactly how the experts remove risk from commercial upgrades.
Because at the end of the day, true expertise means you never sacrifice operations for design. It's about aligning brilliant, high-resolution design directly with the gritty, real-world operational realities of maintaining a commercial building. Look, if a gorgeous graphic falls apart the second the cleaning crew wipes it down, it's a failure. Direct-to-wall printing ensures that your design actually survives your operations.
We'll leave you with this final provocative thought. Take a walk around your own facilities. Are your current wall graphics truly aligned with your operational realities, or are they just a maintenance headache waiting to happen? If you are tired of dealing with telegraphing seams and peeling edges, it is definitely time to consult with East Coast Mural Pros and bring their facilities into the next generation of architectural graphics. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.